How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Tell us your name again and spell it.
Gordon Gough, G-O-U-G-H.
And your title?
President and CEO of the Ohio Council of Retail Merchants.
There we go. You got the rebuttal. What's your response to what you heard?
Well, I didn't hear I didn't see the actual document yet, so what did the poll results show? Could you share that with me?
People are against the Marketplace Fairness Act.
Sure. I think if I would conduct a poll tomorrow to say abolish the state income tax, I probably would have 90% of Ohioans that say that would be a good idea, or abolishing of the sales tax. So we think the Marketplace Fairness Act is a fair way, responsible way. The alternative would be for no collection of sales tax, and we think that all retailers, regardless if they're online only or brick and mortar and online, they should collect sales tax.
Their argument, though, was in terms of the fairness argument is it's not really fair because a brick and mortar store only has to collect and remit to one taxing agency. They only have to worry about the rate for where they're at, whereas an online retailer will have to hundreds, thousands of different taxing agencies.
Sure. Well, many retailers have multiple locations. Ohio has 91 taxing jurisdictions for sales tax, so many of our members are already doing multiple sales tax reports on an annual basis or monthly basis, however many times they file. All of you have smartphones, right? How easy is it to go where you're going and pick up the weather for what city you're in? Technology's there, sales tax can be collected, and software is already available to purchase to figure out what the collection is for each jurisdiction in the United States.
What's the overriding rationale for why the Marketplace Fairness Act should be passed from your point of view?
It's just fairness. We think it's a fairness issue. If a brick and mortar retailer is required to collect and remit the tax, that another retailer that's online only should have the same responsibilities. Many folks don't understand, but it's the sales and use tax. So if you are a consumer and you purchase something online and sales tax is not collected, you're responsible to collect and remit that use tax to the state of Ohio on your income tax return. So the tax is already due. So we think it's more responsible to collect the money from all retailers than to say, let's not collect any sales tax at all. Let's be fair.
And the biennial budget had some provision regarding this issue in it. I can't remember exactly. If you remember.
It did, yeah. Essentially, what we asked the General Assembly to do, and was passed into law in the last budget, was put Ohio in compliance with the law if the Marketplace Fairness Act passes, and all those future proceeds go to the Income Tax Reduction Fund. So we'll give Ohioans a tax cut on their income tax.
What's the current process for internet retailers?
Well, currently, if they have no physical presence in the state of Ohio, there's no requirement for them to collect and remit the state sales tax. So if they have multiple locations, if they have a physical presence in the state, even though they may have an e-commerce site, they are required to collect and remit the tax for the state of Ohio.
Why the Marketplace Fairness Act? Why should that be the solution to this instead of one thing they mentioned was the online retailer collects and remits to wherever their physical location is. They collect the tax for that physical location from everybody and then remit it there. Why this solution versus another solution?
We think this is the fair solution. If you think about it from this way, retailers, an online retailer you as a consumer purchase something, and it has to be shipped to your house. It goes through Ohio's transportation network. It rides on our highways and bridges, and we all know how expensive it is to maintain our roads and bridges. That revenue is then used to build that infrastructure. And so if a retailer that's in California doesn't have a physical presence, is essentially using the Ohio's infrastructure with no cost to them whatsoever.
How could this? How much money could this generate for Ohio?
Real dollars. We did a study with the University of Cincinnati's Economic Center back in October of 2011. A very conservative number of $200 million annually in sales tax revenue Ohio is losing. And that was, as you all probably could understand, internet sales continue to grow. It's a convenience factor. We're all for e-commerce. Many of our members have e-commerce sites. We're for e-commerce. If my members can't compete on price, that's a market issue. But when someone has a 7 or 8% price advantage, that's not fair. And that's all we're asking is for fairness. Everybody be on the same level playing field.